Today we are going to be discussing a possible plot point regarding the final season of Peaky Blinders that perhaps some of you are unsure or simply confused about. That being, how exactly did Tommy know Billy was the traitor in Season 6? To get everything into perspective, we need to start with Season 5 and the introduction of Billy. Billy Grade is first introduced in Peaky Blinders Season 5 Episode 2, entitled Black Cats. And a quick coincidence actually, looking back, Tommy explains in Season 5 that a black cat dream means there is a traitor close by. During Season 5 he believed it was Michael, and although this is essentially true considering Michael's departure in the following season due to Polly's death, this episode being the first appearance of Billy, who is literally an informant from basically the first moment he is introduced, and the title of the episode being Black Cats. You see what I'm getting at? Let me know in the comments if you think this was planned or merely a coincidence. Anyway, back on track. He is introduced early on in Season 5 as being an Irish retired professional football player who becomes a singer in the Garrison pub. Arthur and Finn decide to recruit him into the Peaky Blinders due to his connections with the football players and referees. This is the first time in which we see Billy's severe uncomfortableness around both Arthur and Finn. He dreads the idea of becoming a Peaky Blinder, seen being visibly shaken and scared by the indoctrination of himself. Then throughout the season, he is seen getting closer with Finn. The two fall into sloppy habits while running the betting shop, doing drugs such as cocaine and drinking regularly while on the job. This eventually leads them into becoming great friends, even best friends in Season 6, leading to Finn's eventual exile. However, he is still seen to be scared around Arthur and Tommy. Now we know by the time that episode 6 comes around in Season 5 that Billy is working for some external source, as could be seen when he picked up the phone after Finn naively told him that the Peaky Blinders intended on killing a fascist that night. Just seemingly when Oswald Mosley was in town. Billy then picks up the phone and rings someone whom was at the time anonymous. We know that is now the IRA woman Laura McKee, who was in Season 6 kind of minor antagonist. Furthermore, thanks to Season 6, we understand that he was indeed a traitor, being an informant for the Irish Republican Army, concerning the actions and plans of the Peaky Blinders, and more importantly, Tommy Shelby and his political aspirations. This phone call obviously led to the death of Polly, Aberama, and Barney, as well as the failure of Tommy's assassination plan, a major setback for the Peaky Blinders and their plans. This brings us to Season 6, where unfortunately Billy is really only showed in the final 2 episodes. However, these episodes do not disappoint and are arguably the best of Season 6. Billy is reintroduced as being an essential part of the Peaky Blinders football betting organisation, threatening referees and players to obtain specific outcomes for the Peaky Blinders. However, it should be noted that Arthur still shows a great deal of hostility towards Billy, slapping him hard on his legs and insulting him. This is even further escalated when Arthur forces Billy to kill the referee who refuses to follow the Peaky Blinders' orders. Billy is physically broken by the action of forceful killing, as many people understandably would be, in that pivotal moment, potentially explains his reasons for betrayal from the beginning. Billy never wanted to be a part of the Peaky Blinders, and the constant bullying and pressure he experienced from Arthur and the other members made him resent the gang even further. However, he knew that if he could become good friends with the weakest link, being Finn, whom in Season 5 became reckless, arrogant, and too emotionally driven, not taking into account the effects of his actions or words, he would be able to maintain the trust of at least one Peaky Blinder, hopefully concealing his true intentions and remaining just unimportant enough within the gang to lay low and slowly feed damning evidence and plans to the IRA, with the ultimate hope of destroying the Peaky Blinders. In the very next scene after he is forced to murder the referee, all of these claims are satiated as Jack Nelson, one of the antagonists in Season 6, violently tortures Billy into doing his bidding, after he was made known that Billy was in fact the informant within the Shelby organization. And thus, Billy and Finn in the final episode of Peaky Blinders arrive drunk to Arrow House, believing they are there to recover vital documents and dig up bodies for Tommy. Contrastingly to the other Peaky Blinders, they treat the situation as a party. Billy is eventually tied up off-screen and beaten by Duke and Isaiah, as well as the other members present. This all culminates into Finn choosing to betray Duke and Isaiah to save Billy's life, in which Finn is exiled and Billy is shot dead. So how did Tommy know it was Billy all along? Well, unfortunately, we are never outright told how Tommy knows, But there are a variety of hints we can use to calculate and make a valid assumption. Now, I believe that the initial seeds of doubt were sown when Mickey, the garrison bartender in Season 5, leaked details to the IRA about Ben Younger being in town, which in turn ended in him being blown up by a car bomb. This initial betrayal was found out through the phone lines being tapped and reported on to Tommy, or the members in his gang who related back to Tommy. Now, the most plausible solution is that when Billy made the phone call, it was recorded and or listened into by one of Tommy's workers in the telephone exchange, and thus this worker relayed this message to Tommy after the night of the failed assassination attempt, showing that Billy was indeed the traitor, and since that one point he knew all the way through Season 6 that Billy was the weakest link. Furthermore, after they experienced the betrayal of Mickey, they knew they had to watch their backs as betrayal could be so close by. Tommy and Arthur also knew that Finn was the weakest link and almost used him as a pawn to make Billy feel comfortable within the gang, and make himself believe that he was being incognito as a spy. This is evident as well as Finn was the only member of the gang whom was not in the room during the scene in which Tommy explains his plan to assassinate Mosley in Season 5, Episode 6. The only members in the room were Charlie Strong, Johnny Doggs, Aberama Gold, and Arthur Shelby. And once the assassination fails, Tommy is so baffled as to who betrayed him. Eventually piecing it together, Finn did know about the assassination attempt, but did not know about the exact details to the plan, as he could not be trusted due to his incompetence and irrational behaviour, which was thus proven when he leaked that there would be an assassination to Billy in the final episode of Season 5. This is slightly hinted when Arthur tells Finn earlier in the episode of Season 5, Episode 6, that if he tells Billy secrets, it's not his own life he will be risking, it is in fact Billy's, hinting that if Finn was to leak details to Billy, Billy would in turn be the one who was killed. This once again finally culminates in the final episode, when the main members of the gang have a meeting in the garrison, which they have invited Billy to. During this meeting, Tommy speaks Romany, stating that for those who know the truth, to tread carefully, blatantly indicating that they think Billy is the traitor, as they are speaking in a language which he cannot understand. As well as this, Finn also never learned or bothered to learn Romany, so Finn does not understand either, displaying that they really don't know if Finn is in on Billy's betrayal. This is further validated and confirmed when Billy begins to ask a lot of important questions to Tommy, such as when does the party take place, etc. Furthermore, the way in which Arthur states out loud and very obliviously that he will be in the garrison having dinner with his wife for his anniversary, which was clearly not true as can be seen in the final episode, depicts the idea that all the members in the room besides Finn and Billy believe Billy to be the traitor, as he is not blood related to the Shelbys, and also that Finn has depicted the incapability to lead and use his head to draw logical conclusions. However, with all these assumptions being made, unfortunately there is no actual real conclusive answer to how Tommy knew that Billy was the traitor, as it is never outright answered in the show or even showed, and the creator himself, Stephen Knight, has not publicly stated otherwise. So thus, all we can have are reasonable conclusions, which I would say are still largely plausible and probably correct. So, with that being said, I hope that I was able to offer you some sort of viable reason or solution to how and why Tommy and the gang knew that Billy was the informant within the Shelby organization. And hopefully we do get this answer in the movie, but I highly doubt it, seeing that all the threads from the series will probably be wrapped up besides Mosley and perhaps Jack Nelson. And with Billy being dead, there's no real reason to explain how Tommy knew or when he knew. However, with all that being said, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and please feel free to discuss in the comments how you think Tommy knew Billy was the traitor, and if I covered it accurately, or if it was very similar to how you thought. Nonetheless, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are.